Hi, my name is Hannah Jane, and I am reporting to you from the Reykjavik Grapevine. For this episode of COVIDcast, we decided to take advantage of the dip in tourism and go and see some of Iceland's most beautiful spots without the crowds. Right now we are at Skogafoss, as you can see behind me, on the south coast of Iceland. Now this is one of the most heavily visited places in Iceland, so seeing it this empty is kind of incredible. Usually when you come here, I've been here many times over the last 4 years since the rise in tourism, there is people everywhere. The entire parking lot is filled, but we are joined today by about 6 other people, so that's pretty insane. So, let's walk a little closer. Yeah? Okay. So we're going to concentrate today more on celebrating some of the positive aspects of this pandemic, one of which is that we can visit a lot of Iceland's beautiful locations without the crowds. Jesus. Yeah, this is insane. I have never seen it this empty. Ooh, I'm getting wet, whatever. I was going to say, the only massive update I can think of is that the US Embassy recently made the statement that there will be one more flight to the US, which will be on the 15th, and after that, all air traffic between the two countries, with the exception of cargo, will be stopped. And the US Embassy also said that there will be no effort to repatriate, if that's the word, Americans from Iceland. So if for some reason you are still an American tourist in the country, you need to leave on the 15th or you will be stuck here indefinitely, which sounds awesome, but you won't have a job. This is fucking insane. Welcome back to COVIDcast. My name is still Hannah Jane, and I am still here for the Reykjavik Grapevine. As you might have noticed, we have changed locations. We are now at Reynisfjara, one of Iceland's most beautiful and most dangerous sites. So this beach, it's very notorious because the tides are very unpredictable, and there's a lot of, I think the word is rip tides in the water. So some idiots will walk into the water and there'll be an unexpected sort of large swell, and they'll get caught in the swell and they will drown. There are signs everywhere warning people of this, but again, some people don't follow the rules. But it's a very beautiful day. Again, there's very few people here. Usually when you show up to Reynisfjara, there's just people all over. The caves, which we'll be at in a minute, are just filled with people taking photos. There's lots of people standing on the columns getting a lovely Instagram shot. But today it's pretty abandoned, so we get to really admire the sights for what they are. So right now we are walking up to the basalt columns. It's pretty stunning. It is quite eerie still to see so few people here. It really drives home just what this pandemic is doing currently to the tourism economy and will do in the future. Most of the people here are Icelandic, so it is interesting to see a lot of locals show up and enjoy I guess, the nature of Iceland, because a lot of Icelanders tend to ignore how blessed they are to live here. Oh God, I love the beach. It's gorgeous. Woo. We have now moved to Seljalandsfoss, which you can see behind me. It is extremely abandoned, which is very weird because normally there are literally people crawling everywhere here. So this is actually very eerie. Now, we do have some important updates. First off, we have apparently reached the peak of coronavirus in Iceland. Today, the chief epidemiologist, Þórólfur Guðnason, sorry, I have a speech impediment. It's really hard for me to say that consonant, announced that we have probably reached the peak of coronavirus. We are at the, climax, the top. That said, Alma Muller, she assured that that doesn't mean that everything is like safe now. That actually means that in 2 weeks, there's going to be a very bad situation in the hospitals because that's how the rate of infection goes. So we are not in the safe zone. We have probably reached the peak. Also in the news, there is quite a large group of people in a nursing home in the Westfjords that have been diagnosed positive or tested positive for coronavirus. So that's a pretty serious situation. Once again, the elderly are extremely at risk. So that's something to watch, and we send our thoughts to them, and we hope that they get better because it's a pretty awful situation. Now, we are at Seljalandsfoss. Again, I have never seen this place so empty. There are 4 other people here. Usually, genuinely, there would be people everywhere. This is the most empty I've ever seen this waterfall. This waterfall is quite famous because you can walk around it, like you can go under the water. That said, the path is currently closed due to ice, so we are not going to do that because I am not wearing crampons. Can I talk more? Okay. So every time I am hosting a COVID cast, I usually end by giving people advice on how they can spend their quarantine time and, I don't know, have fun at least or whatever. I think taking advantage of the lack of tourists is a really good thing to do. First off, being in nature will help your mental state. It's relaxing, you get fresh air, sun. It's getting a bit warmer now, so it's not horrible to be outside. And if you live here, you should really take advantage of the time and the ability to see a lot of the sites here that you normally probably wouldn't go to, and also if you did go to, would be absolutely swarmed with people. We are lucky right now that we can come here and be relatively alone. So I'd recommend taking a trip down to Vik, driving, doing the Golden Circle, doing something like that. It's very easy to stay 2 meters or 6 meters away from everybody else, and you're relatively isolated, so it is safe. That said, if you are sick, please stay inside. Thank you so much for tuning into COVIDcast today. I know it was a very unusual one, and I hope you enjoyed this trip into the countryside where you can sort of get up close and personal with some of the most beautiful places in Iceland without the influx of tourists there normally are here. I'd like to end this podcast by talking a little bit about our High Five Club. If you're a regular viewer or listener of our COVID cast, you already know what I'm talking about, but if you're new here, our High Five Club is a special membership program for those who want to help support the Grapevine's journalism so we can continue to do what we do. For just a few euros a month, you will help us, sort of just live our lives. I have very expensive hobbies, such as paying rent. So if you can spare anything, and we would really appreciate any help you could give us. But you should tune in to the next episode of COVID Cast. I think it'll be traditional, or maybe we'll go back into nature. I have no idea. They probably won't let me host again after this one. So thank you. Have a nice day. Happy Easter. Oh, bye. Am I good?